All right. Hey, folks, man, this is Cory, and we are back with another episode of Classics of Cinematics. Joining as always with my co-host, we got Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo.
Yeah, folks. And today is one of my favorite films, man. Like, you asked me to tell you my top 5 movies, and this is definitely always there. We're going to be talking about Jaws from 1975, directed by Steven Spielberg, based on a story novel by Peter Benchley, has music by John Williams, starring Roy Schneider, Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw, Lorraine Gary as our main cast of characters, and a bunch of frightened citizens of Amity Island. So it's crazy because basically the story is I forgot to get the synopsis, but let me just look this. I'll just edit this out. Yeah, when a young woman is killed by a shark while skinny dipping near the New England tourist town of Amity Island, Police Chief Martin Brody wants to close the beaches, but Mayor Larry Vaughn overrules him, fearing that the loss of tourist revenue will cripple the town. Matt Hopper and grizzled ship Captain Quint offer to help Brody capture the killer beast, and the trio engage in an epic battle of man versus nature. And dude, this film is crazy, man. They made this thing on a $9 million budget, made $472 million off of it. It's kind of known as the first film blockbuster. And that's just remarkable, man. And it just kind of opened up the floodgates for this summer big film draw extravaganza, man. It kind of, set that summer blockbuster season, made it a staple.
Absolutely. And when you talk about those numbers, I mean, those numbers are good today in 2022. This happened in 1975.
Dude,
that's like this film.
That's like $1 billion. Like
billions of dollars for a couple million of dollars. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of flip one likes to see.
Yeah. I don't know. They got inflation calculators, and all that stuff, but it's crazy, man. But the film is remarkable, man. Like it has a lot of elements. It starts off. One of the things that's so great about it, I think, is just the setup. We get this setup. There's a bunch of teens partying, and then a young man and a young woman, they wander off. They're drunk. Looks like they're about to hook up. But then the woman decides to go skinny dipping, and he's following behind her, but he's drunk. She gets into the water first, and we get that epic scene that kind of inspired a poster of this with the the woman in the water swimming, and then the shark is underneath coming up, and it's brutal, dude. Like watching that play out as I rewatched it the other day, it's you can't see anything. All you've got is her point of view. She's swimming. Seems like something brushes her leg real quick. Then it grabs her. And all of a sudden, she's being pushed through the water,
flailed around like nothing, dude.
It's crazy, man. She gets pulled under, pops back up, fucking terrified, pulled under again, and we don't see her again, man. Next day we see the body. We meet Brody, and played by Roy Schneider, and it's just it goes on from there, man. But I think this film, rewatching it, it kind of stands out to me in a way. It's kind of reminded me of this coronavirus situation, because you've got this thing that's really dangerous out there, and then you got people not willing to take the necessary. They're thinking about money. I mean, we saw this thing play out in Ocean City last year. You know what I'm saying? Where the mayor of Ocean City, he was like, "Man, no, we got to open the hotels. We need the people to come in for the money." And I'm like, "Yeah, but could die."
Like, when you think about it, Brody right out the gate, once he starts investigating this case, when he goes to the beach, his next course of action is, "Hey, man, going to see the mayor. We need to shut down the beach."
Yeah, and then we solve this until we figure out the shark thing.
He's like, no. They open the beach up, and then that's
was it like Memorial coming up?
This 4th of July.
Yeah.
See, this was just the next day after the attack, and then the little kid wants to go back out into the water. And he's on this little, I guess you call it like a floater. It looks
the little boat,
floaty toboggan looking little thing. And
oh, you mean the donut?
It's like a raft. No, it's kind of like a little floaty raft. And that was our second Jaws attack. Thing in which we still don't see him. It's just we see the kid get pulled under, and then the raft floats ashore. Everyone's panicking, and then you see the woman go up looking for her son. the thing that kind of tripped me out is then, of course, they have a town meeting. And, you know, even she's still one of the ones where they're like, well, we're not going to close the beach. You know, that's when we get our first introduction to Quint. And they're like, we're not going to close the beach. 4th of July is coming. And that's, you know, this is a small town and Summer is our bread baker. Without that.
Well, there's that thing that happens too where they catch a shark and they think that it's the killer.
That happens after the meeting.
Yeah. Because they're all still like willy-nilly, like, all right, maybe it moved on. Maybe it's just a one-time incident.
And then it's wild because then that's when we get introduced to Hopper, who's Richard Dreyfuss. He's like, dude, the bite circumference isn't even the same. It's like, I mean, good job. Y'all found a pretty big mako shark or something.
No, that was a tiger shark. I love tiger sharks, man. That thing was huge.
Yeah, it was a pretty big one. I mean, they put that work and it had a couple arrows sticking in it. I mean, God only knows what else was going on.
They killed the shit out of this shark. This is the thing too. Like when that shit happens, anything they kill, we often see that when animals attack people, they just go out and get the first thing smoking. And sometimes I wonder, was that the animal for real?
Right.
Because this tiger shark, they what's cool about it, they go back and gut it, and they ain't no human parts in that mug.
But they were neglectful to do that at first, because Dreyfuss suggests that right off rip, and they're like, you know, they almost don't want to, like they want the town to calm back
down. The corruption of the leadership, because they're just like, nah, we don't. This is it. You know, they're trying to squash this as fast as possible, just to get the tourists in, just to get the money.
And you know what trips me too is the same woman who had a problem at the town meeting, who was the one who lost her son. She was like, no, we got to stay open. Then shortly after they find the shark, after another incident, she goes up to Brody and like ridicules him and blames him for her son dying, because she's like, the day before my son got took by the shark, you know, why didn't you close the beach? It's like, chick, you were just a couple days ago talking about keeping the beaches open.
Yeah, now you want to close the beach because it hits personally. Exactly. And that's the thing about it. But there's so much cool stuff going on with this. But basically the incidents start mounting, and they realize that they've got a shark this is a shark that's continuing. It's going to keep preying on this area, and they've got to deal with it. So that's where Quint comes into play. But at first So first they send out these people, and they get the tiger shark, and and then more attacks happen. So then they realize, well, dang, that wasn't the shark. So then Quint is up in it. It's kind of corny.
Pay Quint the first time when he scratches the
board. It's kind of corny how I didn't like that chalkboard scratch. Rewatching it, I was like, man, he could have just he's got a booming ass voice. He could have and they would have shut the fuck. Then he could have did his thing.
Another funny thing about the chalkboard scratch is, do you see the picture in the background? It's someone drew like a shark with a little stick figure in the mouth. It's like, what do you need visuals for?
That's like, this is what the meaning is about. And there's a
shark see the person in the mouth. That's what we're trying to avoid.
It's funny. It has a little bit of lightheartedness, but pretty much the town agrees to hire Quint, and Dreyfuss, comes along with it, and Brody. It is funny because this crew, this is such a motley crew of individuals that also like oil and water on various levels. You got the schoolboy mixing with the old grizzled veteran that's just all like, that's your book knowledge kid. And then you got the sheriff that's just really, he's just trying to survive the whole thing. He's not really an ocean guy or any of that.
He's not even from the area. They're like, how do you like living on an island? You don't like the water. He's like, well, if you look at it from the other way, you don't know you're on an island. You know what I'm saying?
But it's so wild seeing that. But also I think one of the things that elevates this, without even a shark in here, just that impending dread that layers over the town, man. There's that one scene that hit me where Brody's telling his son, get out of the water, and his son just got a new boat, and he's not sailing, he's in it, but he's still attached by a rope to the pier, and he's just sitting in his boat. He's just in there sitting. He's like, get out.
Birthday present.
Then the mom is like, man, let him go. He's not going anywhere. He's just sitting in the boat, and she's looking through this book or whatever, and there's a picture of a shark attacking a boat, and it hits her. And she's like, get out of the boat. Get out of the boat. It's just like, wow. So you see this thing, and there's other moments in the film where you see how it's affecting the town, and overall, it's something that's in their mind, the towners, because it's a beach town. Most of the people that live there, they've got a different perspective than the people who are just coming for the weekend
Yes.
to enjoy the beach. You know,
I mean, in the way they set like that human tonality, like it gives us that full view of, you know, fear from the human point of view. And like what I really like about this film is like the tension building. Like, dude, we don't even really see Jaws as a shark until well into an hour of the film. Yeah. But what keeps that tension going and what really helps instill that fear is the music that they're playing.
It's John Williams. This made him as a, I don't know what he did before this.
I don't either, but I know this. And, you know, I mean, it kind of like, it plays on the psyche, because now, you know, anyone who's seen this film, anytime you hear this music, you think of the shark and shark attacks and just the fear of what potentially could happen at the beach. You know what I mean? Like, that's what makes this film also so, you know, prolific to me, is that it's not just the fear of the unknown or fear of nature or, you know, fear of an actual shark. This changed the tone for vacationing for the world. You know what I'm saying? Anyone who goes to the beach, you know, they now are, you know, they just have one more thing that they have to consider, you know.
So as far as John Williams, he's got credits on 67's Valley of the Dolls, 72's The Poseidon Adventure, and 74's The Towering Inferno, which is set to get a remake from Disney. Earthquake, and so he's been working. He also did a film in 72 called Cowboys, but I think this
was the home run.
Yeah, this was the home run, and this is Spielberg's feature film debut as well, so that's real significant. But the music is almost a character in and of itself. But pretty much they go out on Quint's boat looking for the shark, and this is kind of when the movie switches up for me, because I feel like the beginning is really very serious, very suspenseful, and even the human elements with the mayor and all the politics involved. But then once they get on the ocean, it's just them versus the shark, and it kind of becomes like an adventure. Like I mean, it's a thrill ride. Like it is scary. They're fighting this mega big shark, but at the same time, it's still thrilling the way it portrays, the way it's going down, the way the conflicts of it, you know. And they're out there on the little boat, you know, baiting the water, trying to attract them, and that, it gets crazy, man.
Another thing I feel like is, like I said, it's that tonal switch where at the first half, you know, Jaws is coming to them. He's coming to the more highly populated areas of the beach, whereas now, once we get into that second phase, they take the fight into Jaws territory.
And also those earlier in the first half of the film, I would say they're darker moments. They're presented darker, like the woman gets attacked at nighttime. There's that other diver, he gets attacked. It's kind of nighttime-ish, or it's murky and dark, except for when when they actually have the people at the beach and he comes at them.
Then that's that wide sense of panic. Like you see everybody. It's like if a building's on fire, you see just everyone scattering for their lives. You know what I mean? And we get that twice, because we get with the one kid, but then also when Jaws comes back and Brody's son is in the boat in what's supposed to be the safer part of the beach. They call it like the pond, and Jaws actually goes into the pond and he hits the one guy off the boat, and then knocks the son off the boat as well.
And even that's kind of presented where that murky water, we still don't really see the shark, man. But once they get out and go after him, it's like broad daylight. It's sunny. And I think it changes, and you also got them two bickering and all of that. And it gets crazy, man. Like one of my favorite moments though is where Quinn actually calms down and he's chilling. He's being a little bit friendly, but he's also ripped. And he gives you the story of the what is that?
Oh, it was the
USS.
What is it called? I wrote that shit down.
What is the Indianapolis?
Yeah, the USS Indianapolis,
dude, and that's a real story, dude. Like that I love when you mix the historical stuff into the movies.
Absolutely.
And the thing about that film, like I'm waiting for someone to do an official version of that. There's a real, you want to talk about your boy Cage? There's a bad version of it. Done by Nick. I couldn't even finish it. It was so bad, really bad CG, and they're trying to maybe I'll go back and revisit it now, just to laugh and just to get it in. But it's such a unique story. It's a story where it was the USS Indianapolis was on a mission that was so secret. I I forgot. I think they delivered
They were delivering
the
the bombs
bomb.
for
They were
Hiroshima.
they were delivering the Enola Gay, the platform for them to launch off and drop those bombs, and it was so secretive that they actually got I think it was torpedoed.
Yeah, it was a Japanese submarine torpedoed them.
Yeah, and it was so secretive that it was days before they realized, oh, our ship is overdue. Like, we got to go. But basically, 1,000 men jumped into the water, and a lot of them died.
From what Quint said, he said there was 1,100 people that fell into the water from the boat, crashing. Only 316 made it out.
Wow.
So, and the rest of them turned into shark food.
Yeah, so that's and the idea that these guys are sitting in the water for 3 days just fighting off sharks, like physically, like
and it was like a swarm of sharks. He said like one comes and they bite you. Then once you get the blood in the water, it's like they started attacking like a pack of wolves. It was taking them out. Yeah, and just think,
which is just horrible, but I think that will make it like a compelling movie if done the right way. But
and also like you got to think of it like when you're swimming at the top of the water, that's like a human being at the sky. You don't know what's going underneath. There's so much going on underneath your feet, and you can't even see past your belly or however high up you are in the water. You know what I'm saying? I would freak out. Like I don't even know if I'd probably die before a shark got me, because I probably have a heart attack. First time something rubbed on my leg, I'm like, oh shit. I can't take this. But yeah, to your point, that's also one of my favorite parts of the story, because like the way they start, like it's fun. Like you say, you finally befriend Popper, and they start like by like comparing scars. Let me show you this scar. I got this. There's
a little bit of the camaraderie. What I'm saying?
Like it what could have turned easily into a chest thumping contest. It's like that sense of like acknowledgement towards each other.
But then the hunt kind of goes down. Like I think that's when we kind of first get the first full glimpse of Jaws, is when they're chumming the water trying to retract them, and then Brody, he's just throwing stuff in the water blindly, and at one point he turns around and Jaws is just there, like kind of poking out of the water, like getting a peek at him, and almost like if he could grab him he would. And my man falls. He's like, "Hey man, we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah,
and it's amazing, man. Then the hunt goes down. The way it transpires, it goes from like once they're hunting him. At least for me, put it this way, man. When I saw this film, I had saw the other versions earlier, and like maybe part 3, I think that was the first one I saw. Then maybe part 4, and then finally. Maybe part 1 was on TV, and I got it. Yeah, like it hit. I was like, "This movie is awesome." Like compared to the other ones, this thing is amazing. Yeah. Like it holds up so much better than all the sequels do. Like it's like I would say, don't even bother with those, man. Like I don't even like I've seen them all, but it's not even worth it compared to what this film brings to the table.
And this was like the first of its kind too. Like I don't think there was no other like shark movies or ocean-based movies of this nature. I mean, you got like the Moby Dick story and things of that nature, but for this one to be shot and delivered the way that it was, I don't know. I mean, I would have to look. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but I don't think there was anything like this. There was a reason why this was the first blockbuster film. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At the time, it's hard. Like as far as the quality of films, there were definitely films that I could look back on the date that were dated before this that were great films, but what this thing provided, like they had a broken shark, man. There's moments where you can see it in the movie where the shark is being dragged through the water sideways because it just wasn't the mount. It broke, and
they're like in the mouth,
but it still
jaws
worked. But it still worked because it's like it's camera trickery and editing that they pulled it together, man, and it just works, dude. Like the thing with the barrels. That was amazing, dude. That was so brilliant. All right, because basically they're harpooning the shark and attaching it to barrels filled with air in order to keep it floating. But Jaws is so badass. He's like, all right, we got 1 barrel on him. Boom, I'm still going under. And then the thing that got me too, we got 2 barrels on him. And my man is still diving. Now, did they get 3?
They got 2. They got 2.
But still, with the 2, he still swam under a boat.
It also gives us this sense. Nothing. It gives us this sense like Jaws is like he's way more intelligent than they're giving him credit for.
But it also gives you a sense of the scale of this creature that they're hunting after. This ain't no regular, like that tiger shark he's about 2 times as big as that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, and that tiger shark was like 12 feet long. So it's like,
remember there was that part earlier on before they go. I mean, my man rips the dock off when they had the chain to the dock. He rips the whole thing off. So I mean, and like that was the other part that got me, man. Like I said, every time once they started tracking him, they seen how he would just keep turning around and coming. Like he's not running from the fight; he's running. He's initiating.
Yeah, it gets to the point where Jaws just attacks the boat, and it's like, and he's like, man, the poor little orca. Yo, that
I know they're on like it almost looks like a bath toy, like it's a little tugboat.
He just starts pounding that joint, and the it's leaking. It's like there's no return, man. Either we coming back or the shark. And I can't remember, yo. I think I know, like my memory.
Before he obliterates the boat, we get that scene where Dreyfus goes into the cage.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's where we really get that full-on view of Jaws in his element as they go down into the water. And I mean, dude, out the gate, Jaws is like, "Oh, you want to come down here? Yo, okay, cool." And then he just obliterates the cage. I mean, like Dreyfus was lucky that he fell out the cage because Jaws was going to eat the cage in him too. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then they pull the cage up, and Hopper's not in it. And next thing you know, my man proceeds to start eating the boats, destroying the boats.
And those moments where he's half on the boat, half in the water, just thrashing it.
That's
and
like, because like, I mean, he's half on the boat, and like the boat's like leaning upwards, and Quick just like almost like a water slide down into his mouth. And, dude, I mean, even though we know the animatronics were kind of, but it's still great.
But
just think of the timing, seeing this on the big screen in real time. There's so much tension building and so much going on that when that's happening, I'm sure it was just like, oh my god, because I know when I first saw it, last thing I thought was, man, this is a big phone shark.
It's like a PG rating, I think.
Yeah, and it's far from that. That's for sure. Because I mean, dude, that when the shark eats Quint, like it's kind of brutal. I mean, you see him slowly just getting digested, and every time, and Quint's just screaming. There's a couple
brutal moments. Even I would say the shark dissection, that's way beyond PG, man. Yeah. Like they were generous back in there.
And then not for nothing, I mean, right off at the beginning, I mean, the chick is getting naked. I mean, there's like nudity is clear cut rated R, no matter what. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That was worth a PG-13 alone, just from how she died. Yo.
Yes.
Yeah, I love this thing, man. It's ultimately, I forgot what I think. Does Dreyfus die? He doesn't.
He falls out, but then Jaws is now so self-consumed with destroying the boat. And then I mean, he's destroying the boat, and then Brody is like kind of like in the undercarriage, but it's kind of filling up with water, and Jaws just keeps ramming it and attacking it, and it's to the point where Brody is up on like the thing where the sail is.
And
that's it. Yeah, while he was attacking him in the undercarriage, he ends up throwing one of those air tanks.
Yeah, the oxygen
because Hopper like yells at him because when he like earlier on at the beginning of their voyage, he's trying to like just be helpful, but he's no boatman, whatsoever, and he keeps getting in the way, and Quint keeps bossing him around. Hopper's driving the boat, and he pulls the rope, but he pulls the wrong thing and unties the knot and bangs up all the
start
oxygen
tumbling
tanks.
out. It's like,
and
Hopper's
like,
I can blow it up.
This compressed air, it can blow up. So he has the wherewithal in the midst of being almost lunch. He throws the tank in Jaws' mouth, and then he's up on the sail thing, and that's when Jaws is still relentlessly coming for him. And I mean, hey, you know what? When you get in survival mode, because what's the name? Brody, before he pulls the gun out, he has like the handheld harpoon, and I mean, he must have jabbed Jaws about 5-6 times in the head.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, he's trying, man, yo.
And Jaws just like with the thing inside his head, just takes the harpoon down too.
Yeah,
and then he luckily finds that rifle.
Yeah, that's my favorite. This is the one where he's like, "Smile, you son of a." Boom. I'm like, come on, you could have said that because we done killed people. You ate a dude. The chick got killed at this point. Like you already pushing the PG limits. Might as well just say it.
Just say it.
Yeah, man. You know what's kind of messed up though? It's weird because I think part 2 they used the same kind of death, and I was like, come on.
They do, yeah. Except it's like
different shark.
Different shark, but he's like, helping the kids out. It's like, oh, come on, man.
That's when the sequels got weird because then it becomes like a family curse thing, and I'm like, come on, man, get the hell out of here.
I mean, Jaws was smart, but I don't think he's that smart.
Well, here's the thing, man. A lot of people don't know. So the original story I think Peter Benchley wrote was based on an incident in the 30s, I believe, in Toms River, New Jersey, where a bull shark actually was swimming up a river because bull sharks can swim. They can transition from saltwater to freshwater. They do it all the time, dude. Okay. They've been found in the Mississippi River, like deep in there, bull sharks. But so what happened was there was like 3 bull shark attacks in the span of like a couple weeks or so, and it killed like several people, dude. And I think that's what inspired Benchley to write the Jaws story. I haven't read the novel or anything, you know what I'm saying? I'm curious actually to see. I wonder if it's like the movie or if it's something else that inspired, this film, so that'll be something to check out on. But since then, dude, I've definitely got a lot of Jaws memorabilia. I got my little Funkos, my reactions. I got
I definitely got the Funkos, got a reaction. And man, I got the one little Funko where he's like eating Quint. It's like this little
and think about it, man, there's probably 100 shark films out there since then, man. Yeah. Some are better than others. You get things like that inspired from this, like Deep Blue Sea,
Open Water.
Open Water. Actually, when I was talking about the Indianapolis, that's what that reminds me of. That situation. Yes. I can see Open Water. I just know about it.
Oh my gosh, it's wild. I saw that in the theater. Like it was giving people motion sickness because you just get that sense of being on the boat. I mean, it didn't happen to me, but I was just like. Only thing I could think is, man, I don't know if I'd have made it till the sharks came. And then it even inspired other true stories like Soul Surfer or other things like that.
But, you know what I did like? What was the one with Blake Lively? The
when she's on the whale.
Yeah. What was that? That was really good, dude. That was because a lot of them are shitty, but every now and then you'll get one.
What was that one? That one was good. I'm drawing a blank on the name.
I think I bought that. I might watch that.
Actually, I own that.
The Shallow.
The Shallow. That's the one.
Yeah. That was a really good one.
There's another one. It's I want to say it's a Euro film. It's called The Reef. That one's really good as well. Seen that one. But like you said, I mean, you get some of these ones that really just hit home, and then you get other. I mean, this one even inspired like the funny films, like Sharknado. Sharknado, yeah. I mean, even like the Megalodon. I mean, because like this one kind of like. When it comes to like the shark, as an underwater entity, a creature, whatever you want to call it, underwater, fish, mammal. This one kind of set the tone, making the world think that this was the biggest, the baddest of all the sharks, but there are actually sharks that are like bigger. But I think this one probably. No, I think
as far as like a man-eating species, great white is probably the biggest. Yeah, I think they are the biggest. Tigers are maybe second in getting in size with these guys, but also then the bull shark. But I think the bull shark is the one that has the most human kills of any sharks. Like Like the great whites, they are. I'm an animal geek, man. So I'm not just talking out my ass. But great whites, most of the time when great whites kill a human, we look a lot like seals. With our flippers when people are flapping, if you're on the surfboard and your arms are sticking out to the side, it's like a mistaken identity. A shark, they never really consume the person. It's like, I thought you were a seal, but at the same time, you 10, 12 foot great white or bigger takes a bite out of you. For us, that could be fatal.
It's we lose a limb. And then also, like, what if they don't? What if they don't just bite, grab, and go kind of thing? They pull you down.
Bull sharks will eat you, bro. Like the bull sharks, and I would say tigers too, but bull sharks are worse because tigers, they will eat anything, man. Like in the movie, they found the license plate and all that. That happens. Yeah. But bull sharks will really go at you, dude. We've actually had those caught in the Potomac, dude. They caught a few bull sharks in the Potomac, man. So it's dog. Yo, you get in that water, man. suddenly the hierarchy switches.
Yes.
You know, you're not the leader of the pack no more, man.
But that's the thing, though. I mean, we should be thinking of that anyways. Just like, I mean, hey, if you go on a safari trip, man, you go into the middle of the jungle. I mean, you're going into the animals' domain, into their element.
It's to this day, it's one of my favorite genres. Like I'll put this in there with the creature feature because it's a monster in a way, even though it is a monster based on reality, but it does the same things that most of those films do for me. Like think about it. If you think about a film like Predator, it's almost the same format.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Once they realize the dangers out there, then suddenly they turn to try to hunt this creature, but he's like, yo, and it's just, it's kind of
the only difference is that we know Predator is a fiction story, but you know
this is the thing too, man. Like, I don't like going into the ocean, man. Especially now as an adult. When I was a kid, the innocence of it and the wonder is like, all right, blah blah blah. But now, bro, things brush against your legs.
That's
seaweed.
What I'm saying.
I'm like,
anything.
What's seaweed? I'm like, I don't know, bro. That could have been a fish. That could have been.
You're standing in water, you can't see your feet. Yeah, how do you know what it is? Yeah. And you just know the deeper you get, the more animals or underwater wildlife you're going to.
And you don't even gotta get that deep, dude. No. They are there, like that. You don't even like. You could be a few yards off the beach, but you can't see. Like if you get, man, I've seen drone footage recently where you'll see people just sitting on the beach, and then maybe 30 feet away from them, there's a big old shark just chilling, swimming around. Like they're looking for fish. Yeah, but man, who's to say this mug don't get confused?
And let's also not forget the fact that I mean, you know, the elephant in the room is the water. I mean, the current, you can get pulled in. You know what I'm saying? You can lose your footing, slip and fall. A wave might come and hit you. I mean, you don't know, and then you just next thing you know, you're just out there. And the one thing about the ocean water is you can just continuously keep getting pulled deeper.
Currents, man, you get man, it's scary, bro. You know? It's wild. Like that's gonna be. Even if I got a life vest on and I'm sitting there waiting for rescue, I'm so terrified that a shark's gonna come on. That's gonna. Even if the vest, I'm floating, I'm good, I can breathe. The minutes waiting, I'm just going to be like a shark in this mug. Like I'm like,
and then it's like, you know, kill me, dude. What if you have a panic moment where you just scream for help? I mean, some people just yell, and you're surrounded by all that water. You can't drink no water.
That's the worst thing to do. You go
all that
salt flailing around and
falling into your mouth. Salt's going to naturally make you thirsty, you know. And then me, you know what I'm saying? Like I could start getting all sunburnt, and it could like start to really hurt. You know? Stop cooking me, son. They eat me from below and burning me from the top.
I don't want to be in that situation, man.
Yeah, no, it's just bad news, no matter how you spin it.
But it's just a classic film, man. I think it's wrap this up, but it's just amazing, man. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Like I own a copy of it, and I like it holds up to this day. Like I throw it on, and there's so many elements of it that I think that make it great. If you don't fuck with the shark, then you've got also the political stuff, you've got the family stuff, you got the human element that I think raises this above the normal shark schlock that we get sometimes, you know?
Yes, because of the fear factor. And like I said, I mean, this is tension building and storytelling at its finest. At its finest.
That too. And we're doing this in 75, dude. Combining the score, combining the story, combining the cast, the acting, the effects that they pull off. Like even pulling this off with a flawed effects. Like this shark was broken. Like one of the favorite things you could do is watch all of these things out there. I think the movies that made us on Netflix right now, they have a special episode on this, and just all the behind the scenes stuff. There's several of these kind of programs that address Jaws, and it is worth telling, man. It's an interesting story, but also it led to an interesting film, you know.
Absolutely. And like I got the it's the 25th anniversary or 75th anniversary on DVD, and it's double disc. I mean, there's so many special features. You got deleted scenes, interviews, and all kinds of stuff. So I mean, if you're into the physical media, make sure that you get one of the anniversary editions. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll give you even more, you know, behind the scenes and just
I'm kind of kicking myself now that I'm thinking about it. There was like maybe a year or so ago, I'm just in one of the stores, and the Time magazine had just a whole issue based on Jaws. I should have picked it up, dude, just for the photos and behind the scenes stuff alone, man.
Yeah.
But I think that's it, folks, man. We're gonna be back, man. This has been Classics of Cinematics. Subscribe to the channel. And I don't know what the next one is. We ain't figured that out yet, but we're gonna be back with another classic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, folks. Peace and have a good day.